Election night is over. The ballot's still being counted. The race is very much undecided. Let's bring in our political analyst, Steve Swatt. Steve, good to have you back here. So the vote count's going to continue till Friday. Most of these votes coming in are probably Democratic. Do you see this affecting any races that are still in play?
Oh, sure. I mean, a couple of them. One is the District 6 race for Congress, for example, where Dr. Pan is trying to get into the runoff, and should a lot of Democratic votes be counted between now and the end of the week or beyond, that would certainly help him.
That's not going to help Tom Steyer, but he'd have to leapfrog Becerra in that race.
That's true. He is hoping to do that, but that's going to be a difficult task. Although Democrats voted late, so their votes will be counted late. So there will be a lot more Democrats coming up in the next few days.
Eric Swalwell got over like 12,000 votes last night, and so we won't get into that too much. But in terms of Swalwell dropping out, Becerra getting most of that, were a lot of the voters, you feel like, you know what, let's just play it safe? Becerra seems like a safe pick.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, safe, competent, he has a long resume. And, California has had some, real flash as governors. I mean, Jerry Brown, Ronald Reagan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I think a lot of voters perhaps are saying, let's tone things down, let's just sort of work toward competence and solve some of our problems. Becerra is quite a story. I mean, you go back to March, he was in one poll 2%. Yeah. And he was up maybe up to 4 or 5%, but he couldn't even qualify to get on the debate stage. And then Swalwell implodes, and what happens? Most of his supporters go into Becerra, and look where he is now.
So let's look nationally. California very much a key to taking over the White House, taking over the House again. So in terms of that nationally, how is California doing?
It's really incomplete. As you mentioned earlier in the show, Proposition 50 was designed to help Democrats pick up another 5 seats. They're doing pretty good in some, but a lot of it depends on who they select. One example, down in the Central Valley, David Valadao, Republican, Democrats have had their eyes on him for quite a while, think they can take him out. But right now, the leading Democrat is a very progressive Democrat, and that may not go well in that part of the Central Valley. And so it depends on who finally wins that Democratic nomination, basically.
What's going on with the Democratic Party, particularly maybe in California, with maybe they want new blood, they don't want new blood? What's the status of that?
There's been a huge movement in the last couple of years to really try to get some of the veterans to leave. And many of the veterans who have been unopposed in so many races.
Like Pelosi.
Pelosi, but I mean, Mike Thompson, basically, Garamendi. I mean, there are 3 in California, 3 Democrats in California are in their 80s. I mean, Garamendi, Doris Matsui, and the woman down in Southern California, Maxine Waters. Yeah, Maxine Waters turns 88 in August.
That's amazing.
She's been in office since 1990. They want to get her out. There have been several people running against her. She just cleaned up yesterday.
Let the people decide. What about the L.A. mayor's race? It looks like it's going to be Pratt, who is a quasi-Republican, versus Karen Bass, incumbent.
Well, it's probably more than quasi-Republican because he has the endorsement of President Trump.
But running as an independent,
well, yes, it's a nonpartisan race. That is interesting. I mean, he is doing better than you would expect for a Republican in Los Angeles. But you have to remember, in L.A., fewer than 15% of the voters are registered Republicans. And you can bet Karen Bass in the runoff is going to remind people of that. Yeah. And so I think it'll be difficult for him, although he seems to be the media darling these days.
All right. Steve Swatt, thank you for your analysis. And the votes will be counted, and we may not know for a while what's going on.
All right.